What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday Night Token Talk with Rob and Steve. I am Steven Dutzman, and I am your host. As always, I come to this party representing Engaged Family Gaming, and I am here alongside my partner in crime, Rob Kalajian, who comes representing a Pawn's Perspective. Rob, how are you this week?
I am doing excellent, Steven. Thank you very much.
So we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about over a wide variety of topics, all kind of under the board game, card game space. We got a couple Kickstarters we wanted to look at. Normally we only pick one, but this week there were two. We couldn't decide, so we just said, screw it. We make the rules. Let's just do two. We also want to talk about spoiler season for two collectible card games. But we're going to focus more on Transformers. And then we're going to talk about a classic board game being brought to the Nintendo Switch. So stick around for that. So, Rob, before we do that, I just want to declare that I hate you because you are a jazz thief.
You know what, Stephen, we agree on many things and we disagree about many things. But the one thing we absolutely agree on is that Jazz is probably the greatest Transformer of all time. And, yeah, he's right here. That's a great card.
I hate you.
Look at that. Oh, wait, and if you flip him, look at that. He's a car. Oh, he's a car. He's a robot. He's a car. He's a robot. It's awesome.
I'm so mad at you. Because last week on this very show, what's up, Chris? Yeah, Chris is excited about Catan. That is Chris Chipman of Talkbuster podcast, which I will be joining, not permanently, but I will be appearing on that show because both of us former Blockbuster employees. So fun fact. So last week on this very show, we were looking at Transformers, the collectible card game, because that's something that is new, exciting for me, so I'm talking about it all the time. And we were, and we looked on the eBay, and you bought Jazz. You stole him.
I did. He was a buck.
You stole him. You stole him from me.
He's mine.
How will I ever find another one?
Yeah, it's not like there's hundreds more on eBay or anything.
I know. It's not like he's only, like, whatever. It's the spirit of the thing. Is that we were talking about it, and you were like, I'm just going to buy it right now. Because I can do that.
Right that second.
Because I'm sitting here behind my fancy schmancy wooden DM screen with my logo on it. Because
that's right. I can hide what I'm doing back here.
I'm just going to mess around. So, so I hate you. I don't really hate you, but I partially hate you because you're a jazz thief. And, like, whatever. Now I'm going to have to, like, go to eBay and, like, it's just such a hassle. It's just such a hassle. But I'm going to do it because Jazz is my dude. But I still hate you, and I will refer to you frequently as Jazz Thief. So this week, you got a pretty impressive shipment the other day. Can you actually show that?
I have it. And do you know where I have it? I have it right behind this DM screen.
Because that's a rad little... So you got the Fantasy Trip Legacy Edition.
The Legacy Edition of Fantasy Trip, Steve Jackson Games.
Yeah.
It's
put it up in front of the camera. This thing is...
It's really big.
Can we see this in profile, please? Because this box is massive. Look at this box. This thing is insane. So here's what the story is for Fantasy Trip. More or less, this is... Steve Jackson, he made kind of a tongue-in-cheek dungeon crawler. It's a Dungeons & Dragons competitor that he put out around the same time. I actually had Steve Jackson on Engage a Family Gaming podcast a while back. And he explained the whole story, so if you want to hear more about it, definitely give that a listen. But they did a recent Kickstarter for the game. And it came out, and did you actually get regular Fantasy Trip also?
No. So it came in this gigantic box. But what's really cool is
yes.
So like as soon as you open the box, I mean you've got Melee in its own box, you've got Wizard in its own box, and you get Death Test in its own box, and then kind of as you unbox this, you get to the actual Fantasy Trip book and the adventure, and it comes with this sheet that basically like suggests how to dig into the box. So it's like, hey, start with melee, move on to wizard, move on to death test solo or with a group, and then play the Fantasy Trip adventure. So there's a lot of content to go in here. I am going to have so much fun with this.
Oh, so a couple comments from the chat. Chris, he's got to go play hide and seek with his daughter, but he just wanted to know that he was here and that he believes that this is awesome. Thank you, Chris. That's high praise for 6 minutes of show. You have low standards, but we'll take it. I am not one to turn down praise. Jason Maselli, coming from the media pool, in the comments, says dungeon crawler. You say I do in fact say that as a dungeon crawler. Fantasy Trip is I would say it's kind of the best way I can describe it is it's a RPG in a box, tabletop, dungeon crawler type thing, but it is designed to be accessible. It is simple. It is relatively quick. And yeah, I mean, that's really all I can really say about it.
The character sheets are very basic.
Yeah.
I mean, the actual Fantasy Trip book is not huge, and the adventure it comes with, it looks very accessible. It from what I've read, it feels like a very beer and pretzels type RPG. It's not like super in depth. You go in, you kill a bunch of stuff, you have a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's meant to be very light, is how he explained it. And so that game was released based on the Kickstarter, and I don't know if this was a Kickstarter goal or something they just decided to do after the fact, which I can't blame them. They made a Legacy Edition because everything gets Legacy Editions now. So I'm very surprised that we don't have like Catan Legacy Edition yet. We're getting Machi Koro Legacy Edition this summer. I'm actually pretty excited about that. What are your thoughts on just throwing Legacy on everything?
It depends. Like I need to see how Machi Koro Legacy is gonna pan out. I like Machi Koro. I need to see how it's going to be a legacy. I mean, I haven't played many legacy games. The only legacy game I think I've actually played, I've played Charterstone and the New Canton expansion for Brass Empire, which is legacy-ish. I wouldn't consider like Dragonfire or the Hero Realms campaign legacy. They're just campaigns. But yeah, I'm interested to see what it's going to be like.
Yeah, me too. You know what? We're big fans of Machi Koro in this house. So if at the end of the day it's just a different Machi Koro experience, and that's really how I'm approaching it. Like, I know it's a legacy game, but I'm not looking for it to be like as impactful as, say, like Pandemic Legacy, right? Like,
right.
What I am hoping for, and this is, I don't know if this is setting the bar low or not. You can tell me, but what it feels like for me is. It's just, for me, it's like Machi Koro 2. Like, I'm just hoping that it's a different Machi Koro. And I think by default that will happen because the legacy mechanics will change it just a little bit. And if that's all it needs to do, I think I'm setting it up for success.
I mean, I have some ideas in my head of like how this can work and things that could be really cool, but they're being very tight-lipped about it.
Yeah, I mean, I am. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to find out. It's coming out this summer. I'm sure it's, I don't know if it's maybe going to be at Gen Con or something like that, but pretty excited about it. And man, you have that for review. I remember them throwing that up on the, one of the groups, and I was afraid to put my name in the hat because I didn't think I was going to get to play through it enough. How many games of this are they asking you to do, and how fast?
Well, originally I was supposed to get this sooner. I was supposed to get this as like one of the first review waves, and they ran out of copies. So when they put up that post, I was like, hey, I never got the copy. Don't think I'm shirking my review. Because originally I was supposed to have something up in like March.
Okay.
And then they were like, oh yeah, we never got one out to you. So now I think I'm not in the like as quick review pool. Now it's kind of going out to other reviewers. But I'm hoping to have it done within a couple of months. Get this played a few times with the family, and now that B is big into role playing games, I can play this with her, and I'm sure I could play Melee and Wizard and those with my kids as well, and get a decent amount of time with it before I can write it up.
All right. Well, I mean, you know what? That's not bad. Because when they said it, I was like, ooh, I don't think I was going to be able to do it. But I'm glad. I mean, super hype. I can't wait to see, what you think of it. As we, as the year moves on, maybe I'll get into the next wave of reviews, especially if you think it's accessible. This is kind of breaking news that's somewhat off topic, but I think we got to talk at least a little bit about the fact that they just announced the price for Disney Plus. Can we do that?
Oh, they did?
Yeah, let's talk about that, because it's not board game related, but it's definitely nerd related. So here's what we got. It's
totally nerd related.
Yeah, so so by the way, folks, this is what we're doing, just breaking ass news right now. So let's see here. Okay. So they have advised that Disney Plus, that the ad-free will launch on November 12th and will cost $6.99 a month, or
$6.99 for ad-free?
Yes.
Wow.
Or $69.99 a year, which works out to $583.
Wow.
And here's the big one. It will include, this is bananas. So it's $6.99 a month. And it will include the following brands. Because everybody's thinking, oh, well, it's going to have all these Marvel shows, it's going to have all these Star Wars shows. It gets crazier because Disney owns a lot. Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, National Geographic.
Really?
Yeah, because they do in fact own them. They are putting. I mean, this is going to be crazy. It's confirmed for smart TVs, PlayStation 4, and I think iOS, but they're planning to bring it to everything. Eventually, it's just gonna obviously it's gonna take time. They've included the Switch. So
now, are they also planning a bundle that also has ESPN Plus and Hulu?
They did talk about that. They didn't reveal any pricing for that yet, but that makes I mean, I have no idea why they wouldn't do that. And if you mean well, and here's what I have to say: if Disney Plus with all of that content is $6.99, if you mean to tell me that I can pay $15 and just get Hulu, and I would do that and drop Netflix like a bad habit.
Dude, just having every single Disney movie is worth that $6.99.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, and this is just me going a little bananas, right? Every time I sit down to watch Netflix, I either settle on a Disney movie or a Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie or a random nature documentary anyway. Now, admittedly, these will not have Sir David Attenborough in them, because he doesn't do Nat Geo stuff. I'll be fine. And yeah, I mean, I don't know why I would keep Netflix. Anyway, so not board game related, not token related, but I thought we would chat. That was breaking news because all the presentations were today. Earlier on, they talked about the programming. I specifically appreciate the fact that I'm going to get a Vision television show. Everybody on Earth, you don't understand. I get to watch a Vision TV show. That's not supposed to happen. And by the way, the TV show, do you know what it's called?
The Vision?
No. It's called WandaVision.
No.
Yep, no, that's what it is. And The Mandalorian, which I am very interested in, is launching day and date with the service, starting November 12th.
So now we're getting a Vision show, a Hawkeye show, a Loki show, a Scarlet Witch show.
Nope. Scarlet Witch and Vision one show.
And Vision together, okay.
And I mean,
I guarantee you we're getting all the Defenders stuff.
Wait. wait, and a Winter Soldier Falcon buddy cop show.
I'm down with that.
Yes. Now, presumably, all of these are going to have to be prequels because all of them are dead right now. However,
That's right.
in fact, literally all of them are dead right now. Yeah, all of them are dead. Right?
Yeah, Hawk is dead too.
Oh, not Hawkeye. Hawkeye's alive.
The Hawkeye's alive, but Falcon. Oh, okay, you're talking
Winter Soldier.
Hawkeye, Winter Soldier.
Yeah, no. Hawkeye's going to have his own show, presumably with the female Hawkeye. Remember the whole thing? Like,
yep.
And then we're going to have, so it's Winter Soldier and Falcon are going to have, so
Falcon's
Anthony
still
Mackie.
alive, though, right?
No. He got dusted.
I thought he was.
No, you know what? He's a guy that died, but nobody saw him die because he was like in the trees. May I help you? No. So yeah. Anyway, so that's Disney Plus. Little off topic.
So I got two more quick things.
Okay. Yeah.
One, in the mail I got. So my daughter and I play the miniatures game Dust 1947, which is like a World War weird kind of alternate World War II. It's still going on. There's all sorts of crazy stuff. So my daughter plays the Mythos army, which is all sorts of Lovecraftian horrors. Well, they just released the Cthulhu Mythos Avatar of Cthulhu. And this thing is gigantic.
That thing is huge. I remember you bringing home a bunch of those from...
Right, from PAX Unplugged. So this guy is gigantic. And my daughter's gonna paint it up, and I'm gonna probably film that, and we're gonna start a little video series of her painting because she's really gotten into that. But this thing is gigantic and awesome. So I just have to show that off. Dust is an amazing game with some amazing miniatures. So if you haven't played it or haven't heard of it, you need to check it out. And the next piece of news I have is actually kind of my own breaking news because I just got the files shortly before we were streaming. So as many of you know, I do the "You Are Welcome at My Table" shirts for charity, and I've got 3 designs. Well, I am partnering with a game publisher to help promote their Kickstarter and help raise some money for charity. So Cardboard Console will be releasing a Kickstarter for their game Dance Card, which is a game about high schoolers at a dance. And what's really cool about this game is it has a super diverse cast of characters, and this is intentional for the game. So we will be doing a Dance Card "You Are Welcome at My Table" t-shirt, which should be going up in the shop either later tonight or tomorrow. So it's a little bit of advertisement for the Kickstarter, great message of inclusivity, and of course, as always, all the profits of the shirt sales go to charity for Q1, Q2 in 2019. All the profits are going to Extra Life. So a really cool shirt with some really cool artwork should be going up soon. And I just want to thank Cardboard Console for doing this with me.
Awesome. That is actually really rad. I really do love the t-shirt program that you have. And, a lot of folks have been excited about Dance Card. And so the fact that you're partnering with them, real slick. I think that's a really neat mashup. So super proud to have that get announced on our little show. So, hey, Evan, would you mind making sure the oven is off?
Why?
Because I want you to make sure that the oven is off.
Why are you turning them off?
We don't want your house to burn down.
Because I don't want to die.
It's off.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, welcome to parenting life. Sometimes you got to tell the teenager to ask to make sure that the oven is off, and he's going to ask why. Evan, I love you. I'm working. So, if you want to play a game, go play a game. This is how we're going to do this, I guess. All right. So, You know what? I have to make sure that the oven is off. So,
It is on.
Rob, you vamp for a minute.
I'll
I'll be right back.
All right. I'm gonna wait for you to take your headphones off so I can totally talk about you. There he goes. So Steven is gone, making sure that he doesn't die. Now I don't want Steven to die, but I am safe and sound in my own house. So if his house burns down, I'm still cool. We can still do Token Talk every week. You get to look at my handsome face. Okay? Anyway. So yeah, cool announcement with the t-shirts. And we've got some more cool stuff on the way. Actually, another cool announcement about t-shirts, hopefully coming up soon, another partnership. But I don't want to really talk too much about that until that one is set in stone. So, there you have it. I'm going to... oh, here he comes. We got to stop talking about him. Oh, Robert. You wouldn't believe it either. Oh, here comes Steven. All right. Everybody be quiet. Totally innocent chatter while you were gone.
Totally innocent chatter.
Oh, of course.
Okay. Oh, gotta hold on. We gotta switch. There we go. We gotta make sure that our heads are under the right logos. Okay. So, what's up, Bobby T? Welcome to Token Talk. Yeah, I had to go. I wanted to make sure that the stove was off, and gently ask my son to not stand slightly off camera and floss, and thus distract me while I was trying to do work. Because that's the story of my freaking life. So here we go. Let's just go over some news. So it's spoiler season for Transformers: The Collectible Card Game, right? And so what that means is we have a new set coming called Transformers Siege, The War for Cybertron, that is launching on June 28th in the U.S. And so what spoiler season is, for those of you that aren't super familiar with it, it's basically... it's the period of time where they're just going to tell us all the cards. Very rarely do companies just dump the cards out into the universe anymore. That just doesn't happen. So what they'll do is they'll build hype by showing off some of the cards. So the theme for Wave 3, which is Transformers Siege: The War for Cybertron, is it introduces two new cards, Battle Masters and Micromasters. Those are, for the most part, a Battle Master, and this is an example of one, Private Fire Drive. What they are is they are Transformer cards that are smaller. They actually are these small character cards, so they are about the size of a regular card. They say they're 63 by 88 millimeters. It's basically the size of a regular card, but they start in bot mode, which is different. Normally, you start in vehicle mode. So the reason they start in bot mode is they do their thing, they fight as part of your team, but if they die, you play it as an upgrade, which means they basically transform into a weapon that can be equipped to one of your other Transformers. And so, for example, Private Fire Drive, he's a regular dude. Doesn't have a lot of defense. That's kind of their trick, right? They don't have a lot of defense. But they, when they fight as part of your team, but when they die, they turn into a gun, or a sword, or a hammer, or whatever. And when that would leave the battlefield, like, for example, if someone scraps the upgrade or something like that, then you put it into the KO pile as though it is a KO'd Transformer. This is an awesome set of design space. It's perfectly thematic because, as Rob and I and any Transformers fan knows, excuse me, then there's a long history of Transformers that turn into guns. Like, can you think of a big one, Rob?
I have no idea. Well, I mean, Megatron was a gun originally. now it kind of doesn't make sense. So now he's usually like a tank.
Yeah,
It's
now
not as
he's a
cool
tank.
as turning into a giant robot turning into a tiny gun that another Transformer can hold.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was probably one of the most ridiculous scenes in the animated Transformers movie, is when Megatron turns into a gun and Starscream just starts shooting people with him.
Yeah, no, I mean, the most ridiculous part was when they formed Devastator inside Astro Train. Let's be really honest with ourselves.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, Astro Train turning into a giant space shuttle that could carry everyone, including a fully combined Devastator. Yeah. Okay, that's ridiculous too.
Yeah, exactly. So, that whole movie was ridiculous. It was great, but it was ridiculous.
It was great.
Let's see here. So let's look at some more cards. So, they also, so far, have spoiled Ultra Magnus, specifically Major Ultra Magnus. Again, they give them different names like this so that they can print multiple Ultra Magnuses and have it not be confusing for collectors. And so what's really special about Ultra Magnus is, when you play him and he is in vehicle mode, where is it? Here we go. And he actually starts play with this upgrade on him. That's actually really awesome. And because it means, he starts off pretty buffed and pretty powerful. And, it's a very unique effect. The only downside is, that's a lot of stars. You can only start your game with 25 stars. And he is 12 just by himself. And then you add 2 for his armor. So he's 14 stars just by himself.
Damn.
So that leaves you with 11 for other Transformers. That's not a lot. So if you're going to use him, you better be ready. With that said, he comes out with a 7 attack power. And an 8 attack power when he transforms. So, he's gonna punch some dudes. But I digress.
Hey, you know who you could team with Ultra Magnus?
I don't know who.
Jazz is only 6 stars.
Ooh, you can put Jazz in there. Oh, do you want to do that? Do you want to show Jazz? Are you gonna do that?
I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Oh, let's do that. Go ahead, show everybody Jazz.
You know what? Let's stick him right in the initiative slot right here. Let's leave Jazz right there.
I hate you so much. All right, so looking at some of the other cards they spoiled. So we've looked at Fire Drive already. So they also spoiled Shockwave. This is really cool Shockwave art. I don't remember him turning into a spaceship, though.
No, he was always a tank.
No.
Or a gun. He was a gun.
Was he a gun?
He was like a laser gun. And then later on, he was usually a tank.
Fair enough. Well, here, he's a scientist spaceship. And, yeah, he's beefy, too. I'm having trouble. I can't zoom in. Maybe I can. No. I don't know. Those little, are those supposed to be, 5? So he's 14 stars? Because those are 5s.
Oh my god.
I'm going to look. How many stars is Shockwave? I'm going to Google it. Because I can't see it. How many stars is Shockwave in the Transformers TCG? This is how we do. Thanks. That doesn't help. But... Oh no, he was in Wave 1. So that doesn't count. I can't. Alright, so we don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. I think it's 14 stars. Again, he's got a lot of beef. In his bot mode, he swings for 7. And you can play with the top card of your deck removed. Or revealed. Which, I don't know if you played Magic.
That's a huge advantage.
Yeah, that in Magic, being able to play is insane. And so while the top card of your deck, in bot mode, while the top card of your deck is a Decepticon card or a secret action, you may play it as though we're in your hand, which means if you build your deck correctly, you basically are drawing a card. Because
that's awesome.
You can play it, and then you reveal another card, and if it's it just gets crazy. If you can play the card off the top of your deck, it is always bananas. I do love the art for the booster box with Optimus Prime with a freaking shield. Ooh. So,
dude, I liked the game like when I first played it and I first reviewed it. But with the combiners pack and like this stuff, like I'm getting super hyped about this game. This is a great game.
Exactly. I mean, I know we had some questions about it. I had some questions about it during the EFG show yesterday. This is absolutely a casual friendly game right now. It might not be in a couple of years, right? I mean, if they keep putting out expansions, it's going to get harder and harder. But if you just want to play casually amongst your family, the boxed products are balanced, they're fun, you get to play as Devastator, and it is not hard to like go onto eBay and buy like a lot of cards. You know what I mean? And you can get
I think the initial starter set though was a disappointment in how they handled that, but I think everything since has been spot on.
It still comes with 2 pretty good Autobots, but you're right. Here's another thing that's really cool. Every pack has a Transformer in it. So, yes. Like, if you're just trying to build your army, you are guaranteed to get a Transformer if you buy a pack. Which, and is at least something to think about. So that's Transformers, the new set. I just want to go over very briefly. I know we've talked about Magic before, and we're kind of on a collectible card game kick. That will go away, obviously, once these sets come out. But I want to tell a story. Can we have story time?
Story time.
Story time. Excellent. All right, so I want to tell a story, and it starts with what it does is it starts in Ravnica. Nicol Bolas is taking it over. He's built this crazy statue, right? And where is it? Let's see. I wonder where the card is. It is an artifact, and it's here. It's the God Pharaoh statue. See, he's got this big old blue, like this big old dragon statue. Looks just like him. We don't have to worry about the abilities. They're cool though. But he builds this big thing, right? And it's a statue of him because obviously he's a jerk. And so obviously because he's trying to, he's killing a lot of people trying to be a god, so we don't like that. So he builds this statue, and obviously people are like, wow, that sucks. So we need to get rid of it. So what happens? So our girl Nissa, so she comes up, and that is Vitu Ghazi, which is a giant tree person. Where is it here? There's more. So she awakens Vitu Ghazi, and who is more or less Metroplex. It is a giant tree that represents green mana in Ravnica. So it was like this big old dude. So Nissa awakens him. And then he knocks over the statue, as one does. And the reason that I wanted to tell this story, number one, this has happened before in Magic, where there were lots of cards that if you look at them, and put them side by side, it's almost like a comic strip. But I never really noticed. I knew it, but I never really saw it because Wizards never really explicitly told me, and sometimes you just have to tell me. And so now the way they're doing spoiler season is rather than giving like random cards to random people, they're giving out like these little comic strips. So we all learned about how it was Nissa who awakened the big spirit tree more or less and messed up that statue. Isn't that interesting?
Well, see, what I like about that is there always has been. I mean, granted, way back in the day, the story of Magic wasn't as the lore wasn't as in depth. But with all these releases, there's always this lore, and I feel like they're spotlighting it now more than ever.
Yeah.
They've always had like the stuff on their website, but now, like you said, releasing the card images this way, they're really pushing that, and I'd really love to see. Like I really think there's going to be something that when War of the Spark comes out, there's going to be a tie-in for D&D with the new
100%.
setting that came out.
100%. I mean, I would be stunned
this is
if they don't.
something big and something awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if I could indulge myself and do another one, so I'd like to introduce you to Gideon the Oathsworn, who, by the way, his superpower is that he's indestructible. And believe it or not, that's a curse. But he has a rallying cry, so he gets his. So he gathers. He uses that to. Well, first he's Gideon, then he gets his boys together, then he and his boys go on the attack. And then he makes a desperate lunge and dives into. Now that's some drama right there, because that is a mouth. And I mean, he's indestructible, but I mean, it would still kind of suck to be in there, I'm guessing. And the flavor text,
it probably sucked to come back out.
Arguably, yeah, I think that's valid. The flavor text is really awesome on this one. It says Ravnica held its breath as the hero of the Resistance, their last hope, flew through the sky, his dark sword ready to strike a god. And I mean, all of them do cool stuff and have neat powers. Like I said, I just really appreciate what they are doing, and kind of how they're really kind of weaving these small stories together. It really, I mean, it's what I mean. They've always been there, but they're definitely making it a bigger push, and they're doing a great job of it. I don't know that they'll be able to continue this with like the core set this summer, because that's the next set after War of the Spark. It'll be a core set. And those usually don't have like a story to them, but who knows? Maybe they will.
Well, that's the thing. Is like what comes next?
Oh,
this is a huge event in the Magic the Gathering.
They have actually said, Mark Rosewater has actually said that the next set will be a completely new place, one that hasn't been referenced before. So, whereas like most of the other planes that they have been to have had some reference, so like we're not going back to a place that we have already been. I mean, Amonkhet was new, and because that was like Egypt. Now they have the Aztec one. What's the name of the Aztec one? The one with the vampires and with the eternal sun in it, the immortal sun in it, with the dinosaurs.
Oh, is it Domina?
No, Dominaria is like going back home. Where's the one with the dinosaurs? Ixalan, thank you.
Ixalan, okay.
So it's not going back there, and so we're going to a brand new place. I'm excited for it. I really kind of wish they would go back to some of the ones that they've kind of ignored now that they know how to make Magic cards. Like, now that they know how to make Magic cards, like, they could go back to, like, Homelands, like, wherever that took place. I think that was in Dominaria, though, but, like, you get what I'm saying. Like, they could go back and, like, redo all this stuff, because they know how to make Magic cards now. But anyway, enough about Magic. Let's go from one polarizing topic to another polarizing topic, and let's talk about Kickstarters. Because we have two. The first one, let's look at Endangered, a game of survival by Joe Hopkins. You ready to kick it and watch this video?
Sure.
Let's do it.
The march of human progress threatens the survival of many animal species. Endangered is a cooperative game where players must work as a team to save one animal species from extinction. Work in the field to protect the animals from hazards that threaten their existence, while simultaneously persuading the government to protect these creatures and secure their future. It's a tricky balancing act that puts you in the middle of the real-world challenges that conservationists face every day. Each player brings their own unique skills to the team and can create opportunities that all players may utilize. Players must work together to keep animals out of harm's way, limit the destruction of their habitat, and deal with unpredictable events that arise. Though there are immediate threats in the field, you must also race to gain the support of enough ambassadors before the animal habitat is devastated or their population vanishes. If you can get enough votes to protect the animals in time, you'll win the game. Saving the animals is a difficult task, but you've got the heart, the spirit, and the creativity to leave this world a little better than you found it and keep one more species from becoming endangered.
Okay, that's amazing. I'm backing it right now.
Well, I
Okay,
like
maybe I'm not going to back it while I'm on camera, but
I love the idea behind this, but frankly, like it looks bland to me. I don't know if it's just me.
Yeah, were we looking
Like-
at the same stuff? All right, hold on. Let's go. Because I think we were not looking at the same stuff. Let's get a better picture. So, Tale of the Tape. This is a 60-minute game, 1 to 4 players, 10 and up. I mean,
Like, and I don't mean like the gameplay looks bland. I mean that's the look of the pieces looks a little bit bland to me. Like it's not eye catching. I love the whole idea of it, and it sounds like it's going to be cool, but just visually, it's not grabbing me.
I mean, I don't know. I get what you're saying. I guess I just disagree. I like I really do like what it has going for it. I think the colors are bright. I like that. I mean, just here looking at the different character art. So I think this is. I actually kind of think this is pretty cool. I mean, I agree. I think maybe the colors for the characters might be a little bit brighter, but I mean, what do we want? Do we want figs for the critters?
No, I don't want figs. There's something about it. Like I want to play it, but it just looks very vanilla to me. The visuals. But I want to play it. I love the whole idea behind it. I love the price. It's a great price point. $50 for the game, which is
I would recommend $55 because that's the only way to get the stretch goals if they have any.
Oh, okay, yeah, look at that.
But
Let's see.
they're still getting there a little bit. So if
look at that. So at 42,000 or 42,500, they'll get wooden animals.
Yeah, and so where are they right now? Let's take a look. So they're about halfway through the campaign. At this rate, they probably will be funded. I think the 42,000 might be a little bit hard to get to. I don't know. What do you think? Because I know that
so.
there
Like,
is.
I'm looking at this, and I'm looking through the Kickstarter.
Where do you want me to settle?
It's kind of cool, but the project itself is like I'm not gripped. There's nothing that's really pulling me down this page.
I'll admit that I'm mostly there for the theme. I really dig the conservation effort. I like
Right.
the fact that it has 2 critters and they were cool enough to use like double-sided tokens. I think that's kind of interesting. It certainly has plenty of room for cool expansions with other critters. I'm just looking to see if there's any more stuff. I do also really like the idea of when you're playing a game like this, the idea of playing Pandemic or whatever, where you have different players with different player powers, but your power is a different ability for your worker placement stuff. I think that is super cool. That is really interesting to me.
Yeah, like I'm digging all of that. It's just the Kickstarter itself looks a little boring, and the visuals just don't catch me. And I'm wondering if that's what's causing us to not have already funded. I think the game looks great. I really want to play it. I just don't think it looks great.
Okay, well, so here's how it goes, folks. If you agree with me and are awesome, then you should back this. If you don't agree with me and are wrong, then maybe you have a decision to make. That's all I got.
So, Derek says that he's pro saving animals, but is it a fun game theme? I think the game does look like it could be fun.
I mean,
I just have a problem with the artwork.
My question for Derek, and let me throw the comment right into the chat. So my question for Derek is, cool. Like, is it a fun game theme? I mean, is a pandemic, like, I would never think saving the world from an infectious disease would have been fun. However, I really enjoy that. So, you know what I mean? Like, I think, but I see where he might be saying that. I mean, I think the theme is probably not enough by itself, but I guess, I go with, I had a gut reaction, and when I am off camera, I will back it and gut check there. But he's right. He's right. I mean, you can't just go. With that said, I tend to go with my gut. That's my first impression. But let's look at another one.
All right.
Because I guess we're split on this one. So I'm thumbs up, your thumbs to the side. Very, because
I'm
don't
down
hate
to play this. It's just, I think that it could look a little better.
Yeah, you don't hate it.
No, not at all.
So there we go. So I think it looks cool. Rob doesn't hate it. So next we're going to look at Rome. This one is already funded. But before we go to that, Derek makes he has a comment. He says, "Good point, but Pandemic was a game taught to him because it's a gateway game, whereas." This is a game that he has to decide to make a purchase. Like, Pandemic just happened because everybody has Pandemic. So I think you're right. You're right. I think this will be a matter of personal taste. I have not played it myself, so I'm going to have to go with it. I'll be meditating on that one. But because Derek does make a good point. You got to make a decision. And it's $50 to $55 is not inexpensive. I mean, it's not a bad price point, but it's not free.
Well, if you back it, I will come to your house and play it.
Great. I mean, that's pretty much the way it works with all of the games that either of us get. So let's look at Rome. Really, we just wanted to appreciate the art on this one. This is basically a pre-order. If you like the universe for Above and Below or Near and Far, and Derek likes that I say he's right a bunch. I mean, it's true though. I mean, in this case, I'll give you credit. So, yeah, I just really wanted to showcase the art a bit. This is basically a pre-order. So, if you're in, let's see. Oh, wow. That's loud. I'm going to turn this down. Wow.
That was loud.
Whoa. Oh, still loud.
Now, I will say that the artwork grabbed me, but the video's totally losing me because they're not really showing you anything. They're showing you pictures.
I gotta keep turning down the volume. Oh my god, this is loud. Okay, so with that said, we were excited about the art. They definitely showed us the art.
Right, but they didn't show anything else in that video.
Dude, I can only do so much. So,
it's all your fault.
It's totally, it's my fault. But you know what? I can ruin Kickstarters, but at least I'm not a jazz thief. Okay?
You know what? I wear that as a badge of honor.
You're a jazz thief, so shut your damn mouth, is what I had to say to that. So, the good news on this one is it's inexpensive. Copy will be, so it's $22 to get it. $32 if you want the Gem Maps expansion, which I'm not really sure what it is. So let's see here. And apparently there is so I guess the all-in is 62, which has a bunch of stuff in it. So,
yes,
so I guess all-in is 62, but you can get on the train for $22. That's not bad.
Yeah, to be honest, this is not something I would go all in on. It looks like the artwork is beautiful. It looks like it's going to be like a fun, light card game. It says 30 to 45 minutes, 8+. I think 22 is the best option here for this.
I don't necessarily think you're wrong. So, I mean, I like, so basically the idea is you're claiming land cards and you are rescuing different heroes and using their abilities to kind of continue along. I mean, the art for me is worth it. But I actually have never played Near and Far or Above and
Neither
Below.
have I.
Which is it's a blind spot for me. But I really appreciate the art. Rado did a nice little video about it. Let's see here. Who do we got? Is there a quick video that says how to play? How long is this? Oh my God, 10 minutes. I'm not watching a 10-minute video with everybody. But here's what we'll do. I'll go ahead and throw that out in the chat because holy crap, we're definitely not watching a 10-minute video together. I mean, I love you guys. But we're not going to do that. So I really, outside of liking the art, I really don't have an opinion on this one. I will admit when we picked it, when we chose it, I was kind of assuming that you knew more about it.
No, I literally, I was like, wow, this is beautiful looking. It's a light, a beautiful looking light card game, and I'm always down for that. So yeah, like you said, on this one, the video was a little lackluster. I would have liked to have seen more there. Scrolling down the page, it does draw my attention. It does take a bit to get to the video stuff, but 22 good, 62 for this all-in. Not for something like this.
I do dig the Metal Frog coins though.
Yep. I mean, you can get those in the 42. I don't know. Just even the 32, I have no interest in. Like the 22 seems like such a solid price, and with everything that's on Kickstarter now and the price points of things, 22 seems good. 62 for something like this? No. The 40 and the 30, not really. I think it was it Daniel Zayas was saying the other day, the nature of Kickstarter, you got to go low or you got to go high. These middle ground things just aren't fair and well. I think 22 fits.
Yeah.
62, no.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. So, I really don't have an opinion on this one outside of the fact that I think 22 is a pretty good price for a cool looking card game. So and at this point it's a pre-order. I really think this is one of those games where if you want it, you already backed it. I don't think either of us, even if we came at it with glowing praise, we're going to move the needle on anybody. So next, I want to talk about a video game. Specifically, I want to talk about how Catan is being released on the Nintendo Switch.
Damn straight.
Now, the article that I'm looking at is and showing everybody is from Engadget, but this is one of the things I want to talk about. I was one of the websites, I think it was GameSpot or something, referred to Catan as a cult hit.
It's not a cult hit.
That was what I wanted to get at, and I'd love to hear the audience kind of weigh in on that, because the one of the comments that came from because this was brought into a Slack channel that I'm in, and one of the comments that was made was like, well, compared to video games, all board games are cult hits, and I'm like, I guess that's kind of true, but then at the same time, I'm like, nah, because I think Catan has sold a lot.
And Catan is kind of hailed as like the grandpappy of the hobby game world.
Exactly.
At least in the U.S.
To me, it feels like, and tell me if you think I'm going a little too far. It feels like calling Catan a cult hit is not dissimilar to like calling like Dungeons and Dragons a cult hit. Like these are as close to main, like obviously board games, tabletop role games are not purely in the mainstream, but these are as close as you can possibly get.
And a lot of people who don't really get our hobby have heard of Catan. I mean, it's one of those games that a lot of people have heard of.
Yeah.
And if they haven't played it, they at least know of it or know someone who has. I know plenty of people who aren't really into hobby board games or as into board games as we are who like Catan. It's one of those games that's on their shelf with their Monopolies and their Sorries and their Clues.
Yeah. I mean, can you qualify as a cult hit if you're a board game that they sell at Walmart?
No.
So, okay. So that was point one. I'm glad that I was alone. My response to all that was that marketing is a lie. So, like, they can just say whatever they want. That doesn't make it true or anything we have to figure out. Right? Like,
Right.
okay. So Catan is coming. It's coming on June 20th. Which I think is cool. It's being it's being published by Asmodee Digital, and it's coming alongside. It's going to be joining Istanbul and Carcassonne, and I think that's a pretty good. Excuse me. I think that's a good trio of video game, board game
I think
adaptations.
it really is. I think really, if you toss Ticket to Ride into that mix, I mean, you'd be solid. That'd be a solid platform for board games on the Switch.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I'm like sitting there thinking about it going, man, that's a really good set. And I'm sure Ticket to Ride is just around the corner. Right. And I think it's really interesting, and I think part of it's because everything sells really well on the Switch. I know we don't talk about it normally on this being a board game show, but the Switch is everything sells. People who own the Switch are hungry to have more games on it, which is crazy because it's like, I doubt everybody beats all the games that they play on it. But I mean, who beats all the games they buy anyway? That is a constant game problem. Not just us board gamers who buy games and don't play them. Video gamers have that same problem. So don't feel alone. It's not like they beat every game they play. So I think it's really cool that Asmodee Digital is still supporting these. And I think, there's got to be something about the having these games digitally on a very, very accessible system that kind of helps bring people backwards. Like, hey, maybe I'm going to play this board game on my Switch, and then maybe I might be tempted to bring it to the table. What do you think? Do you think I'm being a little hopeful on that?
No, and I think if any system is going to do it, the Switch would be the one. It's one thing to have a board game on Steam or on a PS4, but having it like on your phone or the Switch, something where you could take it with you, I think it tends to bring out the more social aspects of these games. And yeah, you really like a game enough, it might be like, hey, we play a lot of this game. Maybe we should grab the real one and give it a shot. It might be wishful thinking. But I definitely do see the social aspect a bit more with the portable systems.
So we did get a comment from the crowd. Brian Zalewski, who I believe is from, if I'm remembering correctly, I believe he's from the Stay at Home Gamers. Shout out to them. He said his Steam library would agree with me. I do know, we talk about just a handful of games on the Switch. Steam is bananas with the number.
I've got over 500 games in my Steam library now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure at least 400 of them are probably unplayed.
Well, no. Well, I'm sure he's also talking about. I was talking partially about the amount of board games that are on Steam right now too. But yeah, the Steam is insane. How many of them? I have a bunch of games that I bought that I've never even clicked on.
Yeah. No. You get them in bundles.
Thank you, Humble Bundle. Thank you, Humble Bundles.
Exactly.
So thank you for the comment, Brian. And so, yeah, man, my Steam library is so bad. Oh, and you know what's even crazier is now I have an Epic Games library that is getting more crowded by the week.
And I also have a Twitch library because they keep giving out free games.
Yeah.
And they have their own app for games. And then there's my Origin library, and then there's my BattleNet, and then there's, Uplay.
Yeah, I avoid most of those.
There's GOG.
Derek rolled in. He said mobile's great. He doesn't see himself playing Catan on his PC, but on a phone or Switch, that's different.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And, Brian, saying he meant unbeaten, but he hasn't even touched a lot of them. And that's just how it works. There's so many games, especially because of bundles or free games. I have a ton of games on Twitch, because I have Twitch Prime. But Epic Games, and this is just if you're out here, you have a PC, download the Epic Games Store. If you're concerned about privacy, use a burner email account. They give out free games every other week.
Yep.
And right now they're giving out The Witness, which is an amazing puzzle game. If you've never played it, it's free. So, and it'll run on a toaster.
And not only do they give out the free games, because I know like Origin, EA gives out some with Origin, but EA, the app actually reminds you. It's like, hey, this game is free right now. So I'll go to my desktop and a thing pops up and it's like, grab this free game. Okay, yeah, it's free. I'll
take this free game. So it's like, man, because of all that, I have so many games that I'm just never going to be able to play.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I mean, obviously, the move to take video or board games into the digital space is not slowing down. And frankly, there are plenty of it's going the opposite way, too. Plenty of video games are finding their way into the board game space. There's a Kickstarter for Kingdom Rush going on right now, which is a mobile tower defense game. It's coming from
There's a Devil
Lucky
May Cry
Duck.
game coming out by Steamforged Games also.
Exactly, and I've played the Bloodborne card game, and we all know how you feel about the Mega Man board game.
It's the worst game ever.
The minis are nice though.
The pieces are so beautiful. The game is so. The pieces are so well made. The board is a piece of crap because it has a half of the board is for a Kickstarter exclusive expansion. So if you missed out on that, you've got half a board that's unusable. But Jasco is supposedly fixing it and then coming out with a Mega Man 2 board game. And I'm really hoping, and I mean, I know they won't because I'm so vocal against the game. I'm hoping they send me these games to shut me up and prove me wrong.
Yeah,
because Mega Man
do that.
is probably one of the biggest turds I have ever played.
Ooh, Derek gave some more information. He said Kingdom Rush is good. Lucky Duck showed it to them at Dice Tower West. That's right. So that's good to know. Did you ever play, Derek? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you ever play the Kingdom Rush mobile game? I love me some Kingdom Rush mobile game. I've
never played it.
Oh, ooh. That's a blind
Lucky
spot.
Duck did the Fruit Ninja game, right?
Yes, and Joystick Joyride, or no, Jetpack Joyride.
Jetpack Joyride.
Man, is Jetpack
The Fruit
Joyride.
Ninja game was kind of good. I had a prototype of it. One of them. I had a prototype of one of them. I think it was like a 3-pack, right?
I think so. Jetpack Joyride, my understanding, is supposed to be really good. The Family Gamers praise. So after playing the board game, Derek's saying after he played the board game, he went and played the mobile game. I mean, that's just right. Like this whole cross media thing is just so interesting.
Games are games, man.
And they do Vikings Gone Wild also. I think that was Lucky Duck's first game, or at least the first game that I ever remember them doing. So, yeah. I mean, do you have anything else for the panel, Rob?
No, I mean, I think we've covered a lot tonight. I know for the past few weeks we've done a lot of CCGs.
Yeah, we'll be
cool
better.
Stuff.
Yeah, we'll be better. We'll be better. Also, we keep saying to ourselves we're only going to go a half hour, and then here we go. We get on a roll. So I guess we're just going to kind of go until we're done. So, Brian and Derek and anybody else listening, thank you very much for coming to watch Token Talk. Rob, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you when you're not live streaming with me?
Of course. You can find me at pawnsperspective.com and on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon. Just search for Pawns Perspective. I am there. And of course, pawnsperspective.threadless.com is where you can get the You Are Welcome at My Table charity t-shirts.
Yeah, sweet. So, I run EngageFamilyGaming.com. The absolute best thing to do is to join us on Facebook. So go to Facebook.com/EngageFamilyGaming or EngageFamilyGaming.com/Facebook because we're fancy. And like the page. If you really are interested, well, we do have a community. It's EngageFamilyGaming.com/community. And we're also on just about every social media channel ever. We currently have a YouTube channel. I think I might actually be deleting it because I'm very
Really?
angry with YouTube.
Oh,
And it has
what
nothing
they
to
do?
do with me. I'm starting to get tired of YouTube just as an organization. So I don't know. We're gonna have to figure some stuff out. But until then, I do have a YouTube channel. Everyone, I hope you have a wonderful night. If you have questions, leave them in the chat, and Rob and I will pretty much forever be checking it. And we'll see you next Thursday for Token Talk with Rob and Steve. Peace.
Peace out.